All right, so in this video, what we're going to do is talk about our dynamic registration widgets. And I think this is really powerful because the registration widget is the single first thing that somebody's going to interact with when they come to register for a webinar, right? So when we talk about increasing the conversion rates on your webinars, we really mean in three places: how many people actually register, then how many of those people actually get on, and then how many of the people that get on actually buy. This starts the whole process. I mean, the registration widget really does determine, and in the end, how many people get on, because it determines how many people register. Now, with our software, you can choose from multiple different types of registration widgets. You can use the modal. This would be like the button on your site that you click, and then the pop-up comes up, and it gives you all the different, all the different options and things here. We also have an embed. Think of this as something that just sits into your website. They don't have to click a button to see it, but it's just embedded in the site. And then we also have the floater. Okay, the floater is this little, be a little WebinarFuel icon that sits at the bottom of your page. Somebody can click it and it'll pop up and show all of this for somebody to register for the webinar, right? We'll just look at, it doesn't really matter to me. We'll look at this embed one while I kind of show you some of the things that can be done. Of course, you can add the date and time of the webinar. So you just pull this over, and this allows people to select, obviously, the date and time that they want to join the webinar. So this would be an important feature. Remember that you can do multi-step. So if we look at like the modal, you'll see like we have this set up as a multi-step. The first step is ask for a first name. The first step is ask for an email address. Then we ask a question, a quiz. You can look at some of the other feature reports that we have that tell you really why this is a very awesome feature to have. And then on the third step, we ask for, hey, what session do you want to join? What's your name and what's your phone number? Any of these can be changed. You can have a 5 or 6 step registration. You can have a 1 step, right? So it doesn't really matter. It's completely up to you. If we look at the embed one, we're asking for their email, their name, and then asking them to join a session in progress, right? If we start to look at just some of the other things, I'm not going to build anything out. I'm just going to show you all the things that we have. You can add a timer on here that essentially is telling you or telling the customer how soon before the webinar actually starts. You can add text and headers. You can add additional buttons. You can even add video right into your registration widget. So you could have a video right here in your registration widget that sits on your page talking to people about why they should register for this. You can add images, so you just drag and drop. These are super simple. You drag and drop and select your image. You can upload your image to our site, and then you can just pull from there. You can add the hosts, so this is the people that are hosting the webinar. Obviously for this one it's just me doing a demo. You can add different icons. You can add the quiz element. You can add drop downs, input menus, check boxes, text areas. The embed code is really just going to be a place for you to embed a certain code, a custom HTML code, into your widget, so you can even do that. You can pull our badge in, right? So this lets them download the Webby app right here from this. Basically, our registration widgets are extremely dynamic in that they're drag and drop builder. You can build whatever you want, make it look however you want. Another really awesome feature about this is that you can go into this widget, okay, and you can look at it and say, all right, well, I've built this version out, okay? And one of the things we're always looking at is split testing. So you can say, I've built this version, and I know this is wild looking, but this is just a demo. So I've built this version. What I want to do is I want to clone this version. So you click right here where it says clone, okay? And we clone the version, all right? And when we clone this version, now you'll see that there are 2 of these. There's this one and there's this one. So what I can do is I can go down here, I can rename this version here. I can rename it whatever I want, but you could name it new one, just something different, right? And so once you do this, you have to refresh the page, and it will show you now that you've renamed this, so N1. All right, so now I've got 2 different versions of this. Here's the cool thing. I could go into this version and say, I want to test it without this image here, right? I don't want the image. So the only difference that I have here is this version has this image and this version doesn't. when you take the code and put it on your website, so Webinar Fuel gives you this code right here. When you put this code on your website, any widgets that you build, any variations of this widget that you build are going to automatically be live on your site. So right now, if we have 2 of these, it's going to split 50% of the time. What's going to show up on your site is this, and 50% of the time, this is going to show up. And if you added a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th version, it would continue to split it up like that. And then there's stats right over here. So you'll see these 3 little bars. You can actually get a full stats breakdown of all of the different front end and back end sales that come from your registration widget. So this allows you, and not only sales, you can see how many registrations you get, how many of those registrations actually show up. So if you've got different messaging in your widget, and you're testing that, you can see that if you change the webinar title on this version, and there's 2 different titles, you'd be able to see, did that change not only show a higher increase in people that registered, but also an increase in people that showed up, right? And maybe even an increase in people that purchased. So you can split test your registration widgets in real time live without ever touching your registration page or your website. Literally all you do is go in here and do this. And let's just say that we found that N1 did not work. You can just turn it off. So you'll see that these turn on and off. So if you have this one on and this one off, then this one will not run. If you turn this one on, now it'll be split testing between both of these. And this is such a powerful feature because sometimes it can come down to as simple as just changing the color of the button. If you're using a maybe a multi-step version of this where it starts with a button and then it goes to multiple steps, you can see, hey, I want to test a version of this without the quiz. Is the quiz question here causing me to lose some of my registrations, or is it helping me? So you can split test anything. Very simple, very easy. You just clone it, make some changes, turn it on, and now all of a sudden it's split testing and you can get your data and your stats right over here in the stats. There are so many more things that you can do with these widgets. I wanted to show you how dynamic they are. They're easy to split test, they're easy to clone, they're easy to copy, they're easy to create. They're very dynamic in that you can put whatever you want in them. You can see this entire kind of design tree here. There's also specific settings. You can turn on Google reCAPTCHA if you're worried about spam registrations. And this is just one of those things where we've out-designed the competition because we know that this is the gateway to people getting on your webinar. You have to have a great registration flow. You have to have the flexibility to build a great widget, but also to split test that widget so you can constantly be iterating and trying to get the best version of this for your audience. If you haven't taken advantage of Webinar Fuel now, we really hope that you will. You can join our community. You got a 14-day completely free trial available to you. There's probably a link below this video or here on this page somewhere. And we'd love for you to take advantage of this. Come build some widgets. Use some of the other features that we have. We call these profit levers. They're things that other people didn't value, but these are very valuable aspects of your business. And our goal is to help you create really to create a sustainable automated selling machine that out-converts live webinars. And every one of these little features that you can leverage come together to help you be able to do that. And the dynamic registration widgets is really where it all starts. So we look forward to having you be a part of our community. If you have any questions or need any help, please reach out to us. And we hope that you'll take advantage of that 14-day trial now.